At business development, we often sit with our portfolio companies trying to figure out their go-to-market strategy, the roadmap, and how can we bring value? What introductions can we make to help the companies grow? A year ago, I was sitting with a company who was looking to get in touch with financial institutions in the US. So I looked at my Outlook, my Salesforce, my WhatsApp. We ended up finding 5, 6 relevant connections, facilitated introductions, which was helpful. A similar case, which was very accurately done, was a connection between Inverid and Morgan Stanley. Inverid developed a very unique air-conditioned technology going back to the impact investments that was discussed here earlier that saves energy and improves quality of life. Inverid was looking to install its products into the new headquarters of Morgan Stanley in New York. We were able to get in touch with Morgan Stanley with the right people and help them validate the company and the products. It's not easy for a young startup to sell services or products to big companies like Morgan Stanley. The advantage of networking with Morgan Stanley is that they have internal technology business development team that can accurately identify the needs and make sure that the introductions are actually effective. I have the pleasure to introduce you to Uri Lichtenfeld from Morgan Stanley Technology Business Development Team, who made a special effort to be here today, and Udi Merav from Inverid to share a bit of this connection.
Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon. So I'm Uri with Morgan Stanley's Tech BD team, and I think I have one of the most fun jobs in the world these days because really what I get to do every day is meet with young startups with really cool new technology that can give us something that we just don't have, that can give us that edge, take us to that next stage. And it's really through relationships with Lali and OurCrowd that we get to find the best of the best kind of at the right time. Lali's not bringing us blockchain robot chickens doing spin classes. She's bringing the right technologies that we could really use at the firm, although maybe robot chickens is the next thing, I'm not sure. And Inverid system has definitely provided that benefit for us. My focus is predominantly in the security space and sort of the information technology space, so I can't say that I'm an expert in the air conditioning business, but we have had the filters in our building for a year, where I have my office in Times Square. I can tell you that about a year ago I had a lot less gray hair and I was about 30 pounds lighter, so I'm not going to blame Inverid for that. But certainly for a year, the system has been working very well for us, and we're actually expanding now to a few other of our facilities, the rest of our office buildings, and so on.
Well, I'll tell you, our next innovation is going to be age reversal air treatment, so it'll bring you back to where we used to be. But what we have right now is not quite that exciting, but still a very exciting product that can both save energy in buildings, and we mean a lot of energy, and also provide indoor air quality that's improved. So it's a wonderful story. Everybody should want this, right? But we're selling into a very traditional, conservative, risk-averse, and frankly skeptical market of building managers and building owners. So you need a break. How do you get in? And it's getting a really significant first adopter. This was really an enormous success for us. I would say that getting access and getting business with Morgan Stanley is a watershed for a company like ours, and it's all begins with the connections that OurCrowd can make for us. Fantastic story, really. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Uri and Udi. About a year ago, we decided to supplement those case-by-case introductions by creating a more scalable technology platform to facilitate introductions in a large scale, taking advantage of the large crowd of investors and connections that we have. And this is how Connect came to life. Eldad.
What does it mean to leverage the power of the crowd? Connections, lots of them. It takes dozens of strong connections to scale a startup. And most startups don't have the Rolodex to get them in the door with global strategic connections. But for some, this process is now scalable, accessible, and streamlined. OurCrowd Connect raises the bar on what it means to fund and be funded in VC. Connect is an automated, data-driven business development platform connecting startups with strategic contacts in OurCrowd's global network of investors, multinational corporations, industry experts, mentors, service providers, and more. Getting connected is suddenly a global and seamless experience. Portfolio companies can search by filter, keyword, or specific company names, add results to a wish list, and indicate the reason for the desired connection. Contacts are asked if they're interested. Connections are only facilitated once mutually agreed upon. What used to take weeks and a lot of stops along the way now takes minutes for OurCrowd's startups. That's the power of the crowd with OurCrowd Connect.
So, with OurCrowd Connect, we are able to scale our global network and to grow our added value services exponentially. No longer do we have to search through our email, WhatsApp groups, LinkedIn, Salesforce. Today, we are able to clearly define and map our network in an accessible, streamlined, and scalable way.
With OurCrowd Connect, OurCrowd reimagined the power of a VC and the value-adding potential that we have for our portfolio companies. Over the last 2 months, we've facilitated more than 500 different introductions for our portfolio companies with industry leaders. Some of the examples are being shown here on the screen.
Just a few weeks ago, a CEO of one of our portfolio companies mentioned he's traveling to the Bay Area for fundraising. He asked me if I know any relevant VCs for his round. Together, we opened OurCrowd Connect and looked for relevant connections. We were able to facilitate 2 introductions, and 1 week later, one of them indicated an interest to invest in that company. Now, this whole process took us less than 3 minutes. Now, just imagine a platform based on not one connection like this, but on more than 20,000. Imagine that a VC can give its first-time founders the Rolodex of seasoned entrepreneurs. Imagine that a portfolio company gets a platform to reach out to executives at the largest corporations in the world in just a few clicks. Well, you don't need to imagine it. We did it. This is OurCrowd Connect. This is the future of business development, and this is the power of the crowd.
So as we said many times throughout today, we value the crowd and we value the network. So join. Whether you are a company, an investor, a portfolio company, or a multinational company, join us by checking our website and join the network.